Welcome back to Nixon's Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie Griot. Across from me is my co-host, Adam Nilsson. And on Zoom, I have Dusty Nixon. And I don't have really anything to talk about this week.
We're here.
I was going to say, I've done nothing.
There's a greater than 50% chance I'm going to fall asleep.
We're still experiencing racetrack hangover. So.
Sure we are. All of us. Every one of us.
I went to a racetrack this weekend.
I might not remember being at a
were,
racetrack, but
I wasn't PPIR sick.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to say PRI because that's mine.
No.
Mine was PRI sick.
The last PPIR event.
That might be the sickest you've ever been and in public at the same time.
No, I was definitely more sick than that before I went to COTA.
This week.
This
past
week, yes. But maybe the sickest I've ever been in public.
Oof. I appreciate that you were more worried about the content and you went anyways. Mostly because
he was more worried about leaving me at a racetrack by myself again.
What really sucked was, so I left work early Monday, and I was home Tuesday, Wednesday, all day.
Yep.
And so originally I was supposed to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, half of Thursday. And then Jabay was going to pick me up at work and we were going to leave. That was the original plan.
Sure.
So I left early Monday. I was homesick Tuesday, Wednesday, and I came in about 10 o'clock Thursday morning. And I woke up at like 4 o'clock on Thursday. And I woke up and I'm like, I actually feel pretty good right now. Like, I think I got this, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm finally there. Like, let's do this, right?
I woke up that morning and looked down at the chat and I just saw Jabay, let's do this. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was feeling oddly optimistic. And then I took a shower and kind of got ready for the day. And by the time I finished that, I didn't feel so good anymore.
Because you've been standing for more than 3 seconds?
Right. Right. And then...
Had you eaten anything at this point?
So I ate, most of Monday was a normal day food-wise.
So Casey's Pizza, Kansas, or KFC chicken?
No, like a volume of food-wise, I mean.
Okay.
It was a normal day for me for the most part.
And 3 root beers.
I drink maybe 1 root beer a day. Jesus Christ.
It's like I gotta hydrate.
I still have a cough. And
maybe that's why he felt bad. He hadn't had enough root beer.
Having withdrawals.
It certainly wasn't helping. Tuesday,
he needed root beer Narcan.
Yeah. Tuesday, I tried to smoke pork chops. And I ate like 4 bites of a pork chop for supper on Tuesday, and that was it.
Oh, man.
And then I didn't eat anything until I tried to eat something Thursday night, and I was unsuccessful. And then Friday morning, I woke up at a Buc-ee's in Fort Worth, Texas. I don't know really for sure how I got there.
Lucky.
I fell asleep in Kansas, and I woke up in Fort Worth.
That's the best way to travel.
It was not awful. And then I went inside.
Jabay was like, we'll take the motorhome so we can sleep, and then maybe Adam can drive some. And then Adam was like,
I don't think he would let me drive it, to be completely honest with you.
okay.
I don't think that's an option.
Is he like Booney where if it's his vehicle, he's driving?
I think so.
No doubt
yes.
about it.
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Like when with the team with WRL, like
yeah.
Booney drove.
Yeah.
Period. All the way to fucking Sebring.
But Jabay says he loves it. Jabay's a fucking crusher when it comes to miles.
I believe that.
So, because he picked me up at 1 Thursday afternoon, and we made it to Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's moving.
We didn't stop till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Because you got to remember that bus only does like 65.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I woke up Friday morning at Buc-ee's and I went inside and bought a brisket taco, brisket, egg, and cheese taco, as you do.
Naturally.
And I took one bite of it and I tried to swallow it, and my body was like, nah, bro, you're not going to do that.
Eggs ain't where it's at right now.
You're not about to eat this delicious brisket. I'm sorry for your bad luck, but that's not what you're going to do right now. And Jabay like literally watched me struggle bust this single bite. And then I took the brisket taco and I put it back in the wrapper and I tossed it in the trash can because that was all farther it was going to go. Like
Shoot.
It was a total waste.
Damn it.
And then I tried to eat.
But how was the root beer?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you have a water Joe?
No.
What did you drink?
That's
Water.
not a thing.
Dude, I drank
Straight water.
I drank so much water. I brought a whole case of water, like a whole 32 bottle case of Aquafina.
Yep.
And I made it home with one bottle left.
Damn.
By myself.
Hydrated.
I'm pretty sure that I was peeing dust before I got it, before I left. Because I was so dehydrated.
I believe that.
I think I could have drank 8 gallons of water on Friday, but eating was not an option.
Jeez.
And when we got to the racetrack at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we set up the dyno, and I ran the dyno till 9:15 that night.
Still no food.
And I never once ate a drop. I just drank a lot of water. And apparently I looked awful because James Houghton asked me if there was anything I could do or if I was going to die like 50 times. And then on Saturday morning, when the first time I saw him, he was like visibly excited about how much better I looked. Apparently.
And the Midwestern in you refused to let him go get you anything.
There was nothing he could get me.
Water. Gatorade.
I had a water.
Oh, okay.
Times 10.
Yeah, I walked up on Friday and Adam just he's just sitting there in his lawn chair and he just kind of looks up at me. He's like, hey.
That was all you were getting from me?
And so I immediately messaged Robbie. Man, Adam's in a great mood.
It was awful.
I'd kind of forgotten how sick you had been previously, and I just assumed that your demeanor was based on just dealing with people at the dyno.
No, had nothing to do with that.
I legitimately thought that's what it was about.
No, I was happy to see everybody. I just could not express that correctly. It was so bad, Robbie. I felt so awful.
But being a grid life event, you slept more there than you did at home normally. So that's good.
I mean, maybe. I shut down the dyno at like 9 or 9:15, and I was asleep by like 9:30 Friday night. And Jabay did what my wife likes to do to me all the time when he came home finally.
Okay.
And try to talk to me.
No.
And you can talk to me, and I will talk back. But the next day, I will have zero recollection of it.
No.
Zero.
So Jess did that to me yesterday.
Katie does it to me all the damn time. And then she thinks it's funny, so she'll lean into it. And apparently I'll say really dumb shit.
I'll get mean and mad. Like if I've been asleep for like 30 minutes, I'm not able to wake up effectively, but I'm mad at the fact that I'm not asleep.
I'll say incoherent stuff.
Oh no, I'll just get mad. Like, I'll hate her for it. I'm like, no, get away from me. I hate you right now.
But then the next day, I won't remember any of what happened. None.
Yep.
And that's when Katie likes to discuss all the world's problems.
Make plans for 6 months from now and never discuss them again.
And when we talked about this, when, Katie? Was I half asleep? Because that doesn't fucking count. You can't do this to me. We've been together for 13 years, Katie. You know better. She insists on doing it, though.
Sounds like she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. Here, sign this document.
Yeah, exactly. But then the next morning, Jabay was. I asked Jabay what time he came. He finally came back, and he told me. And then he was like, "We had like a 5-minute conversation." I was like, "No, we did not.
You talked at me.
You can't." And I said to him, I don't know what was said between us, but if it was offensive, you cannot hold that against me because I don't know what I said.
Huh.
But that's what I do all the time.
Yep.
But I took a shower in the RV, which was 10 out of 10,
Nice.
the best shower I've ever taken in my life.
Dang.
He has a tankless water heater in there, so like it actually works.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god, dude, it was sexual, Robbie.
I mean, sounds like a good shower to me.
It was the best shower I've ever taken.
I mean, I don't feel like we need to share about your showers.
And then I went to bed.
Yeah.
As you do after a sexual experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So
Went outside, had a little cigarette. And
then Saturday morning I woke up and I was actually legitimately feeling like $1 million. It was great.
Yeah, you were singing and dancing for no reason.
I ate
after a
food.
sexual experience. Yeah, it happens.
I ate a whole donut.
Nice.
Donut. It was amazing. It was maybe one of the worst donuts I've ever eaten, and I happily ate another one. And then I ate like 3/4 of a bag of munchies.
Jess
back
and I-
on regular diet.
Yeah, I was like, Jess and I dominated an entire bag of those. Like, she's like, you know, those are sounding really, because we were up Nards the other day. She's like, that sounds really good. Okay, get it. And yeah, that shit was gone in like an hour.
Well, they don't have the one that I really like anymore.
Which one?
So there used to be the two different kinds of munchies,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
There's the one that has like the Doritos and the Cheetos and the pretzels.
Yep.
And then there was the one that had like the Quaker squares
Oh, those are the
and
good
the
ones.
Cheez-Its and stuff like that.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
were legitimately some of the best snack food thing that you could buy, period.
Yeah, the Quaker squares, man.
But everything that I love gets taken away from me, and that's just another thing that they took away from me, Robbie.
You didn't buy enough of it.
yeah.
Oh, I bought plenty, I assure you. My sister and I managed to keep that alive for at least a year.
We should have mentioned it on the podcast, then you would have been getting cases of it
That's
delivered
fair.
weekly.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
That's fair. So,
That's the whole weekend. All right.
there's more food involved. I'm just going to talk about the food I ate.
Okay. That's all I care about.
So, Matt Waldbaum of GLTC fame,
Yeah.
who I've never actually like been personally introduced to. I've never actually I know who he is.
Of course.
I could probably pick him out of a lineup. I could definitely not pick him out of a lineup of people who look similar.
Okay.
But if you gave me a GLTC lineup, I could here's the top 10 guys in this race. I'd be like, that one there, that's Matt Waldbaum.
Yep.
And he wouldn't even be the 10th guy I picked.
Sure.
He'd probably be the 7th. Right? I'm familiar with him. Right. He bought lunch for pretty much everybody.
Dang.
And he bought it from a place called Franklin's.
Okay.
And it's a barbecue joint.
Okay, I
In
assume.
Austin, it's the barbecue joint in Austin.
Yeah,
apparently,
you get to go wait in a really long line to get Franklin's.
yeah, it's normally legitimately people will wait in line for 8 hours.
Nope. I won't wait for 8 hours for anything.
You're right, I won't do it either.
Nope.
And it was really, really good. It was not an 8-hour wait, good, but it was.
I'm sure it was great.
It was redefines what you think of as good brisket.
Okay.
It was that good. It was insane how good it was. But I don't know that I'd wait for 8 hours.
See, I would add it, if I was going to Texas, okay, we're going to go out of our way to
Yeah.
this food.
Yeah.
But if I have to wait once I get there, fuck that. I'm going
I'll
somewhere else.
wait. I'll wait for a period of time.
Yeah.
Probably a 30-minute wait or less.
Yeah, usually.
Is a reasonable wait.
Or if it's that important, I'll make a reservation.
right.
But
Yeah. Or if I have there's a big group of friends and we're chit chatting, we're guffawing.
Sure.
I might wait for up to an hour
Sure.
if I have to.
But if it's just me and my wife, I'm not waiting. I'm not sitting and small talking for an hour.
No. Who can do that? That sounds awful.
Enough with the foreplay. Bring the food.
But he brought that for everybody. He got some ribs, which I didn't get, some pulled pork, which I got a little bit of, and some brisket, which I got a little bit of.
I saw they were talking about it on the GLTZ chat. I didn't
And it
realize
was-
that you were involved.
It was beyond insane.
Interesting.
It was so good, Robbie.
I haven't had barbecue in a while.
Things I missed out on by standing in the middle of the damn nowhere,
Which
Yeah.
we
opposite
appreciate.
side of the racetrack.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Apparently, it was like $700 worth of food. And it was a lot of food, but it wasn't like a lot of food.
Yeah.
It wasn't what you think of when you think of $700. Well, what I think of when I think of $700 worth of food.
Yeah, I think
But apparently,
easy to-
if you order a lot like that, you get to skip part of the line.
I would imagine, yeah. Or
And like he had it set up as like a pickup order, which I think you have to
Carry
do
out.
weeks in advance.
sure.
So
No, I think once I started looking at like what it would cost to cater a wedding, is when I really appreciated when things weren't $30 a fucking plate.
right,
So that's why we had Famous Dave's at our wedding,
right,
because it was $7.50 a plate.
and it was delicious.
It's fucking the best food.
It was fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was wedding food in
was
my backyard
It was as good as free food
as anyone could ask
could
for.
possibly be.
Yeah, no. Hy-Vee was $30 a plate
Yeah.
for shitty Hy-Vee catering,
Right,
or Famous Dave's for $7.50 a plate.
right.
Why would anyone go anywhere else?
No, I'm with you. No. So, but that was amazing food.
I believe that. Now I
That
want
was really
barbecue.
good. That was really,
Maybe I'll do
really,
that this
really
weekend.
good.
Not that barbecue, but a barbecue.
Right, right. So
What else did you eat?
we had some pizza at Rally Ready, and that was pretty much the extent of my specific weekend. We did get Buc-ee's on the way home,
All right, good.
and I did eat it, and it was delicious and amazing.
All right, now I'm jealous again.
So
How many fishes did you catch?
0. I did not have time to go fishing. I was too busy running the dyno.
Dude, you're doing grid life all wrong.
You're telling me. James went fishing.
Yeah, like a whole day.
Yeah, fucking jerk.
Did
I even told him that.
Did he invite you? Or he just glowed about it?
A little bit of both.
That's fair.
Little column A, little column B.
He said, "Hey Adam, you should go fishing with me. Now strap my car down. I need to make 27 dyno pulls."
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened for sure.
Happens.
Some of those cars were on there long enough I could have gone fishing between strap downs and it wouldn't have, and my presence wouldn't have been needed in the middle. It would have been fine.
How far away was the pond from your...
We had a golf cart.
Oh, man, you should have. You should have like, called me when you're done.
On Friday, there was definitely at least 4 cars that spent over an hour on the dyno.
Yeah, you could have walked away.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, be like, just like leave a sign. Like, when you're done, call me. I'll come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, just be like, unstrap it yourself. I'll be back.
And it was Eric Levine in there every time.
Yeah.
All that dude does is tune.
You mean just cash checks.
Well, there is
all,
that.
All fucking
There
GLTC
is
weekends.
that.
Yep.
He tuned a K Miata real quick on Saturday morning before race 1 or before quali,
Oh, yeah.
and it was a new car, new build, new car, and the car had been tuned previously, but just like tuned by a random person.
Okay.
I don't know the name of the shop. Even if I did, I wouldn't say it.
Of course.
But Eric, like before he even made a pull, Eric like sits down in the car. I'm getting it strapped down, and he's like in there just changing shit already.
This is wrong.
Nope,
That's wrong.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
And he looked at the kid who owned the car, and he goes, who tuned this? And he said who it was, and he goes, okay. And the kid goes, like you can say what you feel. Like I don't have
not
any
attached,
I don't
right.
have any specific attachment to this tuner or anything. This is awful. And I was like, don't feel bad. You're not the first person I've heard say that or him say that to. Like,
Yep.
you're fine.
Today.
Yeah. And then like there were boost tables in this
On an NA car.
on an NA car and like all kinds of stuff. It was bad. And I said to the kid, I was like, what I think, because like he's kind of like, what the fuck, you know?
He probably took someone up like a...
And I said, what I think, what I think is your problem here is a problem that a lot of GLTC guys have had. And I said, my buddy with the 350Z found this out the hard way. A lot of tuners struggle with what is required to do what you need to do for GLTC well.
Yes.
Like it's not as easy as you think it is to correctly make less power than you're supposed to. And a lot of tuners have never been asked to do that, have never put the time and effort into learning how to correctly do that.
Or even want to.
Or even want to learn how to do it. And it takes the right guy to do it. And like you have the right guy now. And just let him take care of you. You'll be fine. But like, don't feel bad about the fact that other tune didn't go well. Because
no,
it is that guy's fault, but also it kind of isn't.
Right. Yeah. It's exactly the same situation for me. It was just
right.
like I asked them to do something, they said yeah, and then we left the conversation at that.
Right.
Where instead of them saying we've never done this,
right, and the guy you have now is like, this is a challenge.
I want to,
and I'm in for the challenge.
Yep,
and he's learned as much as you have along the way.
Oh yeah, yes,
because he's taken the time and put in the effort to learn how to do it correctly.
Yep.
But there's a reason that 3/4 of the people in GLTC are tuned by the same guy, regardless of their engine platform.
And it's also why we're probably not going to do any sort of remote tuning on mine. Right. Like he's going to come here, we're going to do some street tuning, make sure everything's good. So like if anything needs to be fixed, I will fix it.
Right.
And then I'll bring it to Ohio, where it will then get 30, 40 pulls on the dyno before he's happy with it.
Yeah, or more.
So. Yeah, you got to have the right. You need to have you got to be like a team. You have to have the right people.
Yeah,
you can't just expect a off the shelf tune to be what you need for this type of series.
Right. So, but I don't know. That was my weekend in a nutshell.
Just consoling all the drivers that no, you're doing the right thing.
I mean, I didn't.
Then you handed him a fishing pole and said, now go do the real right thing.
God, I wish. I wish. So for anybody who's who is interested, apparently the pond in parking lot 7 is where it's at.
Interesting.
So
they have ponds in the parking lots?
Well, it's off the parking lot. It's you get to the pond from parking lot 7.
Gotcha.
There's like 6 ponds on that facility.
Huh.
And a few of them are not small.
I believe that. Everything's bigger in Texas.
A few of them are for sure lakes in Minnesota.
Wow.
One of them is probably at least as, if not bigger than
my pond?
Than your lake.
No.
Out here.
No. Wow.
So
you're coming with me to Hallett this year?
There is a pond there.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm asking if you're coming.
I'm not opposed to that idea.
Okay.
I don't see any numbered parking lots. I only see letters.
He told me that's what James told me. Parking lot 7.
Yeah, we need to convert 7 from Canadian into American units.
I was over there talking to him. Or I was over there while he was talking to his crew, and he said something about how it was 13 degrees, and I was like, "No, sir, it is not." And he goes, "Yes, it is. Look at," and he shows, and I'm like, "No, this is America. It's not 13 degrees. 13 degrees is freezing cold. It's super cold.
Tell me the temperature in Bald Eagles.
It's below 0, or it's below 13 is below freezing."
Not only is it America, it's Texas. We hang people for using the metric system.
And then he goes, "What temperature does water boil at?" I said 212, like God intended.
Yeah. It's all perfectly logical. 32 freezing, 212 boiling. Duh.
Holy cows. I'm on the side of.
For the record, I think we should switch to the metric system.
I was going to say I'm on the metric system side when it comes to these conversations.
No, I actually do agree with it, but I do see where some more fidelity in the temperature scale is useful.
Yeah,
but I don't understand why we landed where we landed with our numbering.
No idea.
I'm sure there's a reason. I refuse to look it up.
I'm sure we were taught it back in the day, but no, I don't care.
Yeah. But 0 to 100.
What a logical way to do things.
It is, but it's also the jumps between each degree is not insignificant.
No.
mean, it's a few degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the difference in 13 and 18 is like a big jump where 80 to 85 is not that much.
right.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not pulling out decimals. I don't want to know if it's 13.2 degrees.
No, that's dumb. That's unacceptable. So,
But yeah, you ran the dyno all weekend, didn't get to fish. I couldn't be bothered. Didn't really want to go. Did some iRacing.
I don't think that's true, Robbie.
Kind of wanted
Tried my hand really hard a couple different times at scumbagging you into making the haul down here, but
if I would have pushed harder since from like October to December and had the car ready and like let's say the Nexus just fell into place and it was like perfectly right the first time, we didn't have to go like redo some shit and everything just worked. And
if your 610 had been 307 or whatever from the start, then everything would have.
Yeah. So, and then if it would have been in Ohio and done being tuned by 3 weeks ago, then sure, I probably would have been scumbagged into it, but. Yeah, I stayed home, built a splitter, did some iRacing.
What'd Dusty do?
Dusty did photography for us and did all our social media because neither one of us can be bothered.
That's fair.
So yeah, I generally drive down like late on Friday, and I decided to take the day off this time and come down early because I was like, I'll leave in the middle of the day and the traffic won't be as bad. And it still took me 4 hours to get down there instead of the 3 hours that it should.
Ugh.
So got to the track and I was also feeling like crap for like half the week last week. So by halfway through Friday afternoon, I chickened out on just crashing in Jabay's motorhome and
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He texted me, I know.
Yeah.
He got a hotel.
Yeah.
Like a rich boy.
Like a loser.
I opted for total peace and quiet and solitude because I was still in that Friday. I was still in that mode where like you feel good in the morning and then halfway through the afternoon, you're just like, or I could just fall asleep by 6 o'clock tonight. That'd be fine too. So, so yeah, got to the track Saturday morning, and so Friday I got my vest, got my little wristband, got everything, and like every other year, it's just been like, I'm media. All right, drive on in, get parked, go do my thing, and I'm out where I want to be by the time GLTC starts first session. This year I pull up to the gate and they're like, where's your parking pass? What parking pass? Yeah, if you don't have a parking pass, you're not getting your car in here. Sweet. Okay.
How do you get how do you get a parking pass?
Turns out you just have to ask.
Yeah, so I should have gone by the Superlap like registration thing on Friday, and I could have asked about it, and they would have given me one. But I was like, "Hey, I got my vest, I got my wristband, I'm good."
Oh shoot!
So I get to park in Lot A at the very front. I get to walk up behind the main grandstand all the way down, like 2/3 of the way down to the end of the front straight, under the tunnel into the track, all the way back down, basically straight across from where I parked to the media building for a 15-minute media meeting. Stopped and got a parking pass on my way through. Realized at some point along the way that I had left my vest in my other backpack in the car still. So I'm
like a noob.
I'm a mile and a half of walking into my day.
And he hasn't taken a single picture.
I haven't gotten a photo. I do not have my vest, so I get to walk all the way back out to my car. Luckily, I have a parking pass this time, so I can drive in and park in the paddock.
Yeah.
So by the time I get to a place where I can, I still made it out where I wanted to be for the first GLTC session. So it wasn't that big a deal, and I was just laughing about it the whole time. It was just like, this is so stupid. Just like comedy of errors. So yeah, I ended up like nearly 2 miles of walking in before I actually got to the point where I was taking my first like photos of the day. So yeah, worked my way I walked the entire track on the inner like perimeter road on Saturday in the first half of the day, which is a long way. So determined for sure that if I do this again, that I will be hitting up Tech Boss Motorsports for a powered scooter for next year. Because
Hell yeah, bro.
Yep.
I walked. Well, my watch died sometime before we left the track on Saturday, and I had walked 20,000 steps. It was nearly 10 miles.
Holy cows.
Yeah. It doesn't take long.
What were you wearing? Your Vans shoes?
No, not Vans. I've got some like Merle hiking shoes that.
Oh, let's say that's probably a little better for 10 miles of walking.
Yeah.
However, as soon as I got back to the car after, like, toward the end of the day, I swapped those puppies out and put on my Vans shoes because, like, you got to change it up halfway through the day, for 2/3 of the way through the day. So yeah, made it to a lot of places I hadn't shot the last couple of years by walking that path, and like caught some really cool stuff up like 8, 9, and 10 there. It's all like super uphill. Got some stuff in GLTC of like Maton's car. Is like he made a lot of changes over the winter, and his car was pulling a wheelie up the hill up turn 9, and like had the inside front tire like 4 or 5 inches off the ground probably. So E-Man ended up sending that image to him, and I walked over on Sunday morning, and him and Luke and a couple of others were like having this animated debate about, is this spring? Is it shock? Is it sway bar? Is it everything? Is it nothing? What is taking place here? It was that racer thing of like, oh wow, that's a cool shot. Wait a minute, what the hell is my car doing?
Did they ever come to a conclusion as to what was happening?
They didn't at the time. The time that I walked away, they were still in hot debate, and I think Maton had been talking to Lewis from G Speed too. So I don't know if he ended up making any other changes to it.
It seemed like
I know from Friday when he put the car on the dyno to Saturday morning, he raised that car quite a bit.
Yeah, it's always surprising to me seeing them in person, and I know like Jeremy always ran his car like super like soft. It seemed like it was always very compliant. For a very low wide car, there was still a decent amount of roll, and like Luke's looks that way, Maton's looked that way. So like I guess that's kind of the accepted fast way to go. I might be completely off base, but just my untrained eye, it seems that way.
Yeah, no, I honestly have no idea.
So I know Maton originally showed up with a wing on the back of the car still.
Yep.
And then he pulled the wing off because you definitely wanted as little arrow as you could get.
Sure.
And then he realized that the car is like kind of undrivable without some rear downforce.
Yep.
So he made a splitter a spoiler that went again, or basically spanned the space between his uprights.
Okay.
And I guess he used, like, he bastardized V1 of the TSX splitter spoiler from Houghton, and like bent pieces of aluminum to make L brackets to like bolt it all to his uprights.
Okay.
To make it all work.
And then I think coated it with a nice layer of duct tape too. It looked like,
yeah, and it was kind of like just give him some space for like the first 1 or 2 runs down the back straight. Let's just test this theory first.
Yeah, if you're coming out of 11 behind him, just like slide over a car width, maybe 2.
Give him some room. Let's make sure this is going to stay.
Let's say they showed it on the live stream after or whatever race it was after he'd done it. And it was, just an awkward looking spoiler.
Yeah, it was half the width of the car instead of
it was
the full
tall.
width. It was pretty tall to try and make up for the lack of width.
Yep.
So it was kind of funny to see, this clearly isn't working. I need to figure something out. But if I leave the wing, I'm going to be slower than everybody else in the back straight.
Sure.
So what do I do? And that was what he came up with.
I like it.
So that was kind of funny to see. But
so yeah, caught caught a lot of stuff. Like I said, in places that I hadn't gone on the track either in a while or in any of the times that I've been there. There's a section on the back straight where during the F1 races they do the big, like the big concerts like Taylor Swift or whatever else. And so the back straight like runs uphill. Like you don't have an appreciation for how uphill it is until you get back there and you're standing on it. And like where that stage is at is like probably a third of the way down it. And there's a spot where it's like a 10-foot high, like stone wall behind you. And cars are like shifting from third to fourth right there under full load. And I had to put my earplugs in.
Yeah. So I can't imagine. I remember like the first year we went, just standing on the like elevated platform in the camping area and watching cars go by on the back straight was insane.
Yeah.
But being like stuck between the car and a wall would be awful.
Yeah. And so, and this was like, I was back there for like the street and enthusiast group, which is still, some high horsepower cars, but it was like halfway through like the session that went green while I was there. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put these in here. Yeah. Okay. That's better.
Yeah. So, some of the things that happened on track that I gathered, I
was going to say you
couldn't
catch a lot of it.
I couldn't even get away from the dyno long enough to watch much of the racing, but some of the interesting things that happened on track that I'm aware of, Eric Fleming went really super duper dumb fast in a naturally aspirated Corvette.
Yeah, 203 or something.
Yeah, I mean, still it makes like 800 wheel or some wild number, but
naturally aspirated 468 LS, and it now has like a traditional like individual runner single plane carburetor, like
it looks like a dual
carburetor style
quad carburetor intake on it. It's not a carburetor intake, but that's what it looks like.
It's running. They're running like a race throttle body style on it, but it is a single like Holly. I'm assuming like Dominator style flange up on top of this thing with a giant rectangular air filter on it that sticks up through the hood.
He went crazy fast, 203 somethings. I think that might be the fastest naturally aspirated, like closed wheel tin top car ever.
Jeez. I mean, 203 is moving.
Naturally aspirated.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Hard stop.
Yeah. Like TA2 is slower, or TA1 is slow. Trans Am is slower than that. NASCAR is slower than that. Most of like the modern day GT cars that hold records now, those are turbocharged cars.
Yep.
Now, obviously, like it's not. There were 2 LMP3 cars there this weekend, and one of them went like a 158. So and those are naturally aspirated cars, but those are little bitty prototype things. Like those aren't. This car has a VIN tag. So, Life Motorsports and Cole Powelson, they did reset the unlimited class track record. Like first session out, right
out the gate.
Just bam, there it is. And then the car didn't go out a whole lot more. I don't know that it went out at all on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it after that. I watched some of the first sessions on Saturday.
Yeah, they made. I know they made more than one session Saturday, and then
he was out. He did several laps on Saturday, and then they ran into gearbox issues.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that was. I think they said that on the live stream at one point.
Yeah, we ran into him at Rally Ready, and
we got the hard sell from him on Rally Ready, and I'm all about it. I'm just waiting for the paperwork.
We'll get there. But that was pretty cool to see him reset the record. I still kind of wonder how much is in that car. I'm still not convinced I think we've seen a pretty good effort, because he's never, like last year they didn't win.
Right.
And Ferris did go faster than him at World Time Attack, And so, like, I mean, maybe that is everything they can give for that car, but I'm not convinced totally that it is. So I don't know. It's a very high strung car,
Sure.
and so it's hard to really know whether or not they're giving it its all, or if they're turning it down to try and conserve it, and it still breaks down, or where they're at with things. So it's cool though. So
he did run faster than Ferris at World Time Attack. But
he did.
Ferris had to weight the car down for Pro-Am because of the tires. So not quite apples to apples.
Right. I thought Ferris went faster than Cole by the end of the weekend.
25.9 for Cole and 27 for Ferris.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. But
So did Ferris ever make it on track? He made it there.
Ferris
with a
got
car.
a car there. Dusty actually talked to him, but from my understanding was he had basically not gone to sleep in like 4 days straight or some crazy thing. And the car still didn't have any of its underbody arrow on it.
Okay.
And he basically just made an appearance to make an appearance.
I know they
Yeah, whenever I talked to him during the pit walk, I walked up and I said, "So have you slept?" And he was like, "Not since like 8 o'clock the day before, or possibly 2 days before." Said he was out doing just some little like shakedown, just drivability tuning at like 3 a.m. the night, like Sunday morning, and then rolled it back into the shop and was like, "Okay, got to start working on the underbody and getting the diffuser mounted." And like he said, like picked up some tools and then looked over and it was 5:30. He was like, "Whoa, wait a minute, what happened?" And decided then that, was not really in any condition to try to go drive on a racetrack, and the cars still had, just a lot of unknowns. So,
Yeah.
But it looks...
Because I was actively watching his stories on Instagram, paying attention. Like, it's like, man, this car is not ready. And that was like on...
He tried real hard. Like, he gave it the good old college try,
Yep.
to be fair. He kind of confused a lot of people, too, because... what is a rendering of what his both of his cars will probably end up being soon was released like Friday.
Yep.
And it's maybe one of the most insanely detailed renderings I've ever seen in my entire life, and everybody thought it was real.
I thought it was real.
Lots of people thought it was real. I've had more than one argument on Facebook about how it is not, in fact, real. It is 100% a rendering.
Yep.
And that while I'm sure it will end up looking like this, it does not look like that today.
Because that one's not even in the United States yet.
I'm
Pretty sure.
99% positive that the A car is still
In Japan.
Yeah, it's still in Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't magically turn into
Cities.
that carbon fiber, the rendering.
No.
Yeah, so they posted some like further explanation of like what all has changed on that car, and it's like 3 inches lower and like several inches wider. Like it is a serious transformation.
Wow.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be
the best.
Wild.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah, it's got a lot of like C6R influence in the front end, and just that flattened out, super wide. Yeah, it's going to be extremely cool.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah. It'll be cool when he has it done at Midwest Festival.
Yeah, probably. Because he's an insane human being.
And he'll drag it up there on his open trailer behind his Raptor.
Yep.
But yeah, dog.
I would guess he'll probably be shaking that car down in the next like week or two.
Yeah, because like I was watching his stories and then paying attention to the live stream and stuff, and then I can't remember who said it, but they're like, Ferris bought a ticket, and I was like, don't you dick tease me like this. Like, I know he's working on it, but there's no way that car's gonna be ready.
Well, Dusty had said that Eric Fleming was like legit concerned that Ferris was going to show up and really ruin his day.
show up for the last session on Sunday, just lay it out there, do one lap, go home.
Oh,
That only works with orange Corvettes, not black ones.
yeah.
Fair.
Fucking Corvette owners.
I was like, it's a Corvette owner is a Corvette owner.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
They're all the same. So, No, it was fun to watch him like try.
Oh yeah,
And I genuinely thought he was going to do it.
he got way closer than I thought he would. Honestly, I had no idea where the car was at, but
Right.
like, based on pictures, I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was assuming from watching the stories that it would be down there in the capacity that it was. I was going to be really surprised if it got on track. Just, I mean, you're talking about so much, like there's so much going on with that engine and that drivetrain, like to just that's a car that needs to go out and that's a car that needs to go down to Crescent and do 2 or 3 shakedown sessions on transmission and all that other stuff, like because it's all carrying over from the other car, but it's still a whole different car. Yep. So
yeah,
exactly.
So, but GLTC weekend, Luke McGrew won all 4 races. I think he's like one of, like, it's not been done very many times.
No, I think like 3 times maybe.
Yeah,
I think they said it. I can't remember exactly. It's a low number.
James basically threw the weekend away and gave it to Luke more than once on track.
Yeah, there were 2 races he made mistakes that he probably would have won the race had he not made the mistakes.
So after the first race on Sunday, I was in his bus with him and the rest of his team. They were making lunch for us, and since I was dying the day before, like it was James's personal mission to like see me eat multiple times through the weekend. And so I was in his bus, which by the way is fucking insane.
It's like,
dude, it looks so nice from the outside.
It has quad slide outs.
Whoa.
And so when it's all opened up inside, it's huge.
What is it? Like just like a big Prevost type setup?
Yeah, it's a big full size bus.
Okay, interesting.
It's a Newmar, I think.
Yeah, it's a bad motherfucker.
Wow.
It used to have a big mural on the back that said "The Fugitive," and he took that off.
What?
And I can't describe to you how disappointing that is.
Wonder how fun it is to drag a race car through customs with "The Fugitive" painted on the back of your giant.
that might be why he took it down. Yeah.
It's all one color, which is kind of rare. Usually,
that's weird. Usually
yeah.
2
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
deep maroon color.
Yeah, it's a really deep maroon. But he was FaceTiming with his wife and his kids. And his wife, like, he said they were talking about, like, the next race is, it's going to go better or whatever. And she, like, well, as long as you can't fucking blow it and turn 11 or something. As long as you don't fucking blow it and turn 11 or something like that. And he just, like, hung up on her. Like, I can't even fucking deal with it right now.
She knows how to twist the knife.
Oh, it was
my
so
God.
funny. It was so funny.
Which is hilarious because in the group chat, Luke McGrew was talking to his wife, and they said, like, someone asked him about what her response was. They're like, did she know that you won all 4? She's like, no, she doesn't care. Like, I don't think she knows that I won at all, let alone all of them.
Did she even know where he was this weekend?
Like, James's kids were watching it, and his wife watched it, and all that. And I mean, they're at home cheering him on. It's pretty cool.
I assumed it was a joke, and I'm sure she was fully aware. But it's just like, nah, she doesn't care.
But it was so because we'd all been drilling him for it the whole time, and then right on cue, there's his wife just driving that knife even deeper. Oh, it was so funny.
That deserves a hang up. For sure.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. So
I think that was the race that I messaged in the group while the race was going on. Come on, James, hold on to it.
Yep,
probably.
It was. That was the one I didn't watch in real time. I had to go back and watch it.
And then I pulled up the live timing after the race ended because I was out somewhere way on the other side of the track, and I was like, well.
Yep, just one mistake. That's all it took.
Yeah. So, but it was neat to see somebody like just sweep a weekend like that.
Yeah, Luke did very well. Like, just,
I mean,
never did the wrong foot. Like, he was patient and he was in. I can't
always
remember. I think it was third or fourth race. I think it was fourth race.
He was
consistently in third place the whole time and just like waited to the end until he like made his moves and then took the win. It was just really calculated, really fun to watch. Like, you could just see it was good racecraft.
It was cool to see you could kind of tell that, like, so Eric Magnuson on the fourth race was kind of getting away
Sure.
for a little while there because he was in front, and Luke and James had been fighting with each other to try and get second. And at one point you could kind of tell they're like, we need to stop fighting with each other and chase him back down again, because he's getting away because we're sitting here fighting. And
so then they bump draft.
Regardless of who ends up in second, he's going to be so far away that we're not going to catch him again. And you could just see that, like, their brain waves matched, and they went, let's pause this. We need to close this gap. And they just closed it.
Because they bump drafted
the entire,
the entire back straight, and just like that in the break zone, all three of them are back together.
And then then the battle can resume. But it was cool to see, like, that level of awareness and trust in each other, that, like, even though they're competitors, and sometimes they need each other's help to make this race not be screwed. And it was cool to see that, to watch that and see them, like, click and go, all right, we need to chase him down because this isn't working. So
we just gave him the race. If we continue this,
if we keep fighting this, we're going to give it away, and we're fighting over second. That's not where we need to be fighting. So that was neat.
Yeah, that one was fun. We watched that one from the back of the paddock at 19.
My favorite place to watch. The exit of the carousel. It's my favorite place to watch.
Okay.
And it's a good because it's downhill. 19 is fast, and it's a little bit off camber, so it's like it rewards having some balls
or downforce.
Yeah.
Which is why I like watching track cars or time attack cars come through there.
Sure.
Because they're all loaded up and it's awesome.
Shooting them sparks.
And then, like, you can step out, and then you can see them coming up, and then down turn one again over on the other side of the track. So, like, whenever we went to Formula One there the first year in 2012, we sat on the hill on the opposite side of that and watched, and it was like you could watch guys set up passes for turn one coming through 19 and 20. It was super cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there were lots of other interesting things that happened on track, but I missed most of it.
Sure.
So sorry if you've tuned in to find out all the cool things that happened.
If you want a full breakdown of the results, there will probably be some on various websites and racehero.com.
So Saturday night we did as we always do, and we went to Rally Ready Ranch. One thing that made me really happy is that nobody has forgotten about the fact that Adam crashed Dalton's Chop Top.
Good.
And he was incessantly made fun of. So they are a Sierra car dealer. Sierra car are those little they're not side by sides because they're single person things, but
cross cart.
Yeah, cross cart. There you go. That's a good description. That Life Motorsports is making.
Yes.
But now, so they used to be, the original ones were Busa powered.
Oh.
And Cole was telling us that, like, nobody wants to invest in Busa powered ones because you're putting used engines in brand new things, and, like, there's no guaranteed way to get
brand
new parts, and there's no scalability to it, and it was
makes sense. From
like an OEM point of view, it was a problem.
Yeah, there's also a finite number of them, and each year there's fewer of them to pick from.
Right. And then you buy a 25,000 mile bike motor and you put it in the car, and then it breaks right away, and
which it would,
right. And so they have moved on to their own, like, bespoke electric platform now.
Oh, they're electric?
They're full electric now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so they had two of them there that they were letting us drive if you just filled out the waiver. Like, here's the helmet, just get in.
Oh, man. That is a great way to sell things.
Yeah. And yeah, it is, isn't it, Dusty? And so obviously we got Adam in it, and everybody's, like, making comments about, don't crash into the tree.
Yeah,
you stay away, and And so that was funny, but
That's so as he's about to take off, after we finally got his belts on, so there was a hearty discussion of whether he was going to fit in the car. And then it took a while to get the belts figured out because they were like super nice sawbelt belts, and
we're
none of
normies.
us.
Okay.
So it turns out they're easy to use.
Yeah, once you know how to use them.
But
None of us knowing our cheap harnesses.
The part
knew
where
how
you
to work
normally
them.
you lift up on that and then pull it to extend the belt.
No, you pull the little tab thing.
Well, it's like spring loaded.
Yeah.
And if you have to hold it just right, and none of us can figure out what the just right was.
Oh, yeah, the Stroths.
Because they're fancy.
Yeah, the Stroths and the NPO1 are that way, and my OMPs are that way too.
Yeah.
But
Well,
not my OMPs aren't near as nice as that.
we're normies and we didn't know. So it wasn't that
It was like
Dubé-
my
Dubé's really
G-forces don't
tall and
work like this at
we
all.
weren't sure if he was going to fit in there because he's so tall.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
But like he did just fine.
I would imagine that's I wouldn't have questioned that at all. I figured he'd fit.
I questioned that he would fit in Dusty's 350Z.
But to say, speaking of him fitting into things,
Yeah, we
didn't even talk about the
we completely skipped that.
Yeah, I mean we did. That's not you're not wrong.
We'll go back.
But so he drove them. Abe drove one, which is pretty rare for Abe.
So the first, back up a second, the first person that got in one. So we pull up, park our cars, get out, and we walk over to the group that's standing there, and I hear like a familiar voice over my shoulder, and I turn around and it's Tanner Faust.
Yeah.
I didn't know Michael was there.
So funny story.
Yeah.
When we first pulled into the racetrack on Friday morning,
Yep.
Tanner Faust was there as like a pro driver and coach for Rafa Racing that weekend.
Yep.
And when we pulled in, he was driving around in the paddock in like a Cayman GT4 that I think is his own personal car, if I'm not mistaken. But I saw him, and I was so taken aback by how much he looks like Michael Beck that I didn't even realize it was Tanner Faust for like 15 minutes. Because I thought, like, holy shit, that guy looks just like Beck. And I was so shocked at how similar they looked that I didn't even realize who it actually was.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then Dusty takes a picture of him, and then he shares it on his Instagram.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That was kind of cool. So,
Yeah,
he was there. They put him in it, and he's like ripping around.
Yeah, as he does.
Like,
So yeah, Dave like took him around for a lap just to kind of like give him a sighting lap, and then he's on the big course that they took us on the trophy trucks.
Yeah.
That has like 2 or 3 like tabletop jumps on
yeah,
it.
whoops and jumps and
So he like we see him go around like kind of sedate once, and then like it's sliding out sideways the next time, and then the third time it's like airtime.
yeah. It's so weird to see and hear.
Oh, yeah.
Because since it's fully electric, like,
It's got a little bit of whine to it. And that's
well,
about
there's
it.
that.
No,
and then, like,
it didn't even make at speed. It doesn't even whine. It was
weird.
so bizarre.
but it makes a ton of gravel noise.
Yeah, all
Yeah, I
you
bet.
hear is just tire and gravel. Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah, for sure. It was different.
How long did he have batteries to swap out, or did they have to recharge them? Like, did
So
they
they
last
said-
like all time, the whole night?
We didn't put a ton of people through it,
Sure.
but they said that like on a normal day when they have like a corporate event and there's a bunch of people rolling through it,
Sure.
and most of those people are maybe not necessarily good,
Yeah.
and so they're on. So it has 3 speed. It has an eco, a sport, and a race tune on it. You just push a button on the dash to
Right.
change. And so, most of those people are probably in eco or maybe sport at best. And none of them are just like flat out burning battery down. They said they can lap those things for 4 or 5 hours
Holy cow.
on a charge.
That's pretty damn good.
yeah. So Cole said like full tilt, like full power, balls to the wall running. It's like 20 minutes. Said for like Pikes Peak, like climbing Pikes Peak type thing.
Okay.
Right.
That's which makes
just
sense.
like taking it out, running it in sport, and like cruising in the desert like a King of the Hammers, like a couple hours, and then yeah,
It's kind of like a gas car.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
It all depends on how you're driving it. You know, the more time you spend with your foot flat to the floor, the less time it's going to run before it needs to stop and recharge.
It's like putting that extra 5 gallons of fuel into your car at Road America.
Right.
You got to do it.
Right. So, but they were cool. Dusty drove one.
Yeah, it seems to.
So we've been hanging out, and like Jabay and Abe and Pete Lindbergh drove them.
We made fun of Pete. You know, like, make sure you keep your arms and hands inside the car at all times. I got the window net. It's fine. So
I don't remember if it was his wife or him that brought it up first, but yeah.
Yeah, we definitely made fun of him for that.
Yeah.
So,
and then so there's like a lull. Nobody's been driving them for a while, and so, so one of the guys running GLTC is a local. He's in Austin, Matt Beck. So he's got a 240SX. It's maroon.
Yep.
He ran it in time attack at Topeka last year and was pretty quick up until the point that he hurt the engine in it. So leading up to this, he's on his third engine in this car in 6 months, and it let go of something in qualifying or practice.
I don't even think he made it out of practice.
It was early in this. I know it was early.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was
practice.
So Matt came out to Rally Ready because he knows Dave. I guess he's been out there a decent amount, and he's just kind of like chilling. And then, so I guess me and him both about the same time signed the waiver, and we're kind of standing over there. And so Dave gets Matt in the car, and I'm like, I'm. If I drive it, it's cool. If not, it's kind of whatever. Like everybody's kind of wound down from this and gone to do other things. So Matt goes and does 2 laps in it, and he's laughing like a little kid, and he gets out and he's like, you have to, he like twists my arm. Like he was not letting me say no.
Yeah.
He sounds great. We'll need to hang out with him more.
Yes. He's super cool. So yeah, so by Dave's direction, it was do 1 lap on the Echo setting, which he said is like Spec Miata power to weight. And then hit the, it's got like a PDM keypad on the dash and then a little digital readout. Do a siding lap, get your bearings, and then switch it over to sport mode, and you're off and running. And so like even in Echo mode, it was like pretty fun. You can kick it out some. And then I'm balancing the need to just like really want to hammer on this thing with also, I have no idea where I'm at. It's pitch black dark, and I don't want to be the guy that wrecks the thing.
Yeah.
So, but there's the little short course that we were on has like there's this kind of S and then a big radius sweeper and then up over a little tabletop and then shot back up toward the parking lot where everybody was at. And the little S thing in the sport mode, I just like whip the car out and then give it a little tap of the brake and then whip the car out the other direction. And like, as Jabay said, whenever he got back, like, this is the most controllable thing I've ever driven. Like, you just think about it and it does it. It was so wild. In sport mode, just the further you push down on the pedal, the more the bigger the cloud was behind it. It was just like,
I think just throws rooster tails. It's wild.
Like one of the guys, whenever they first got in it, just like tapped the gas and it goes, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They were really, really cool. Yep. So the first year that we went to Alpine, or the first year that we had Alpine at PPIR, they brought a bunch of these over there with the Hayabusas in them, and they were letting people drive them. And Austin Covey actually drove it.
Yep.
And they were pretty wild, but they were like very careful about telling you what you could and could not do, and you could tell that they were fragile.
Okay. Yep.
And
that's not the case anymore.
They were like, yeah, just push the button and go. Do whatever you want. Beat the fuck out of it. It's fine.
Well, and it's easy enough to control that it was just like, just go. Like,
yeah.
And the one that we drove was, they said it was called Paulette, Adam LZ's girlfriend, had driven it at the rally event they did like 2 weekends ago. And they said they were still tweaking on it some, like it was super front biased on the brakes. So like I would just like breathe on the throttle or breathe on the brake pedal, left foot braking, and it's just like it just like stands on the nose. Like yeah, so 40 like 39.9 all in on that base model one. I went and priced it out and added like $5,000 in options to do sway bars and the tarmac tires and a couple of other little things. So
those street legal in Texas?
I'm curious. I would have to look into it. You might be able to do it as like a kit car or something.
I bet you could register them here in Iowa as,
I have zero doubt
a UTV.
in my mind. You could register that just like you can register a side by side.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the options on there was a street legal package for lights and everything. So
you wouldn't even need that in Iowa.
No, you could do it as a UTV. You'd be fine.
Yep. In Iowa, as long as you're not driving down a state highway, you can you can get them registered and they're road legal, like razors and stuff like that. And I really don't see why that would be any different.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, are you trying to sell your Z to fund this, or what's your plan?
Oh, well, he said they're lining up to be able to offer financing on them too. So
nice.
I think a firm's got your back.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can.
It's only 19%.
PayPal credit will let you go higher if you keep it adding to it. Like if you like, they're like 15,000. They're like, well, yeah, I can keep adding if I want.
Yeah,
they'll let you.
Yeah, they'll give money to anybody these days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All you got to do is be able to afford the interest.
Just ask. Yeah, basically just ask. Like, hey, I want this $40,000 toy. Okay, here's your loan.
The other takeaway I had from the weekend after watching like 27 different really, really, really fast Supras on track is I'm watching this Supra on Copart right now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's at $6,100 and it's got 15 hours left. So,
all right. Well, I'll be bothering you tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not.
I have a reminder set.
Yeah. Say if I'm coherent, I will be bothering you tomorrow.
Yeah, I have a reminder set for 11:30 tomorrow to see where it's at.
Ooh.
I'm guessing it'll probably be too many monies.
I won't be conscious at 11:30. No.
Damn it.
Damn it.
So, one of the other things we saw, at Rally Ready, obviously you have to go into their hangar shop area.
Obviously.
And while we were there, somebody had a Fiesta rally car delivered from M Sport, who are like the rally car builders. And like this is a fresh, brand new Fiesta WRC car, and it was kind of wild to see, like how insane they are. Like it has a rally computer in the passenger door and all kinds of nutty little things about it.
Yeah, it's just it's a full like stage rally car, like lower level. You know, still.
Right. Yeah, it's not like some
stock,
wide body like nutso.
Yeah, still stock footprint, but yeah, full FIA cage. The steering wheel had like 2 keypads with 6 keys for different things each on each side. Like, it had these, I think they were fiberglass, but they had a carbon like texture over them. Door panels that were like relief molded for the roll bar, for the door bars and stuff. Like this thing was super cool.
Yeah.
Dave's like, yep, get a look at it now because as of like 8:00 tomorrow morning, it will never look that good again.
Yeah. So they rented out the place for the next day for like a private test day.
Oh yeah. So it'll be.
So they were going to get the car. The driver and the co-driver were both there when it got delivered. And they're, the next day they're going to go out there and spend 10 hours just beating the fuck out of it.
Just
learning the car.
Rap.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
So I guess Dave like builds a bunch of customer cars out of there now too.
Yeah, I thought he did. I was pretty sure they did.
Yeah, there were a couple of customer car Subarus in there, and they had a Fiesta that they were working on putting together, and they had the body parts that were on it came off of Ken Block's Gymkhana 10 car.
Oh man.
You know, like the whole front clip, and then the rear bumper, and then it's got
And the rear
like
doors and stuff, like the vents and stuff on the doors.
Yep.
Because it's a
the
rear radiator.
rallycross doors with like a 2 foot by 2 foot hole in the middle of them with the air intake for the radiator in the back. Yeah.
Huh. Wild.
So at the time, it was just like a stock car underneath.
Sure.
It wasn't anything crazy yet. I don't know what they plan on doing, but and then Dave's got like a Colorado with this crazy long travel suspension in it that I guess is like the rally truck. I guess you can see. Apparently, I need to follow his YouTube channel.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, that's just there. That was crazy. And then I asked him because he used to run up Pikes Peak.
Dave.
Yeah. And he had this like insane arrowed out, like just absolutely nut job Evo back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked like
full on unlimited time attack style build.
And I was like, is that car's like,
Does it exist?
is it still here? Is it, stashed away in the corner of a building somewhere? Like, can I see it? He goes, oh yeah, it's out in the showroom. And I was like, the showroom? And apparently he has like, he calls it the showroom, but it's where cars go to die.
Okay, it's like
And
his museum.
And there's like,
just-
well, no, it's like
storage.
people's
It's just
abandoned
storage.
projects and
Yeah.
and it's just storage,
Sure.
but it's not inside.
Oh.
It's just in the field.
Oh no.
And there's like 115 cars back there. And so we went and just walked around through there, and there it is. Just there's no front clip on it anymore.
Pitch black dark, grass growing up everywhere.
Yeah, we're
out
just
in the
like-
middle of nowhere.
We're wandering through there. It was me and Dusty and Pete Lindbergh and his girlfriend. And she's like, oh, you guys got to be careful. There's snakes. And I was like, seriously, where? Like, let's do this. Like, no, these snakes will eat you. Like, I'm not scared of them.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's ones he wants.
Yeah, that's the ones I'm looking for. And Dusty's like, don't tell him that there's wildlife places. Like, you can't tell Adam that.
He'll be on his app the rest of the night.
That's not what you do with him. You tell him that there's nothing there. There's nothing to see. Because if you tell him it's there, he'll go and find it.
Did you ever find that skink in my backyard?
I never have found your skink. No,
Okay. There's a skink in my backyard.
I'm aware.
The one thing we had going for us was the fact that it was cold enough that any Texas wildlife there was like just huddling for warmth somewhere.
But there's like 40 Subarus back there with like $10,000 rally cages in them.
That's wild.
They're all crashed. They're all broken.
Yeah.
They're all
That's
just
why they're sitting there.
back there. Some of them were cars that could have been fixed.
I'm sure.
And probably, might someday. Because he said a lot of those are like friends' project cars that they just haven't, or maybe never will, get around to.
Sure.
So it was cool to walk through there. We actually, after the first time we went through there, before we left, we walked through there with Jabay as well.
Yep.
And Jabay recorded us walking through there on his phone.
Like a podcast?
And it actually turned out really well. So that will be released on as a slip angle.
Nice.
So I guess go and listen to that to hear our shenanigans and all the crazy things we found in Dave's junkyard. But it was cool to see the Pikes Peak car back there, even though it's just
It's
like there's no front clip on it. The rear doors, which were just skins bolted to a frame, are gone. The trunk lid is gone. The rear bumper is gone. The end plate for the wing, one of them was laying on the ground, like the epoxy had come loose and had fallen off.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'd say the Texas sun probably doesn't do nice things to any of those
it's
cars.
really rough. Yeah, that wing is like 7 foot wide or across, and
Yeah.
I'll bet the cord width is close to 2 foot. I mean, it's huge.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah, I would really enjoy walking through that and just seeing all the.
I really want to. Part of me really enjoyed that we did it at night, but I also really want to go back there during the day
For sure.
when you can actually see, because I'm sure there's a lot of things I missed. Like I saw all the cars,
Sure.
but I'm sure there's lots of things I still missed.
Yep. Next time.
So
Did y'all talk about Car LS Santana?
we did not. So there was.
So there's a Defender 110 sitting there, but it's not a Defender. You know, like a Land Rover, like old style 4-door long wheelbase. But the where it should say Defender on the front, it says Santana.
Okay.
So
apparently it's Mexican market.
So it's an actual.
That's what it's supposed to say.
Okay.
Yeah, we were thinking at first that maybe it was just a 70s rock enthusiast that really liked to. So Dave said that it's a friend of his project that he wants them to LS swap. So he's been calling it Car LS Santana.
Dave is a character.
Dave is hilarious.
Dave. Yeah.
Easily the funniest person I've ever been around in my entire life.
He's a
It's nonstop. It was from the second we got there till the second we left. There was never a dull moment.
Yep.
Constant wisecracks.
And
I really enjoy him.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys that does that, and it never gets old.
No.
Nobody is like that. Where you get to the point, okay, that's enough.
Right.
It's never been that way with him, ever.
Yeah. He's a very enjoyable person to be around. Rally Ready Ranch is like one of the most magical places in the world.
I don't
It's
doubt
one
that.
of the only places that they literally post on, like he says it in the emails that I get from them. They post it on their Instagram all the time. Don't forget, Rally Ready is the most magical place on earth.
It's true.
And like most places, if they said that to me, I would be like, no, you don't say that. Like, we can say that if we think so, but no, like I agree with them. Yeah, they're good.
He's absolutely allowed to say that for sure. What a cool place.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I haven't been there yet.
So that's about it. Our drive home was completely unexciting. There was no issues. There was no.
That's good.
It was shockingly devoid of any sort of drama.
We'll take it.
So,
Pace car things.
Yeah, how did your car, your 350Z, end up on track at Super Lab Battle? And I timed that terribly.
I love it.
So like 2 weeks ago now, maybe week and a half out from the event, Jabay randomly said in the group chat, "Hey, are you dropping the Z down? We might need a pace car." It's like, well, hadn't really thought about it. So leading up to it, I'm debating whether I want to drive it down or not, because I did it like 2 years in a row, and then the last couple of years I think I drove the truck. And so getting ready for this, I got it up in the air to investigate some weird noises coming from the back, and also to look at the front tires, which were corded on the inside, yet still brand new on the outside, because they've got like 10,000 street miles on them, and it has a ridiculous alignment in the front end. So decided, what the hell? I'm going to drive it down. Whether the pace car thing happens or not, I just want to drive it. So ordered tires, got tires mounted on Friday morning.
Perfect.
Got home, put the tires on, went to a thing at school for the kid, and then headed down at 11 o'clock. So like nothing's been said about pace car since then. Literally 20 minutes before call to grid for race 1, I'm standing there, Adam's standing there, Jabay's standing there. We're around the garage that all the Grid Life people are hanging out in, and something is said about, what are we going to use for a pace car?
Classic Grid Life.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
Grid Life.
that's so absolute normal Jabay.
It's all of Grid Life.
Yeah,
it's not
they're all
Jabay.
the same.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Yeah.
It was literally like seeing a dog see something shiny go by. He was like, wait a minute, we need a pace car.
Yeah.
And so Adam says, well, Dusty brought the Z. Adam's like, oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I mean,
It was just that simple.
yeah.
So
what else are you going to get?
Right.
So I wasn't sure who was going to be driving it. And then like Jabay is not a small person, and my car is a fixed seating position built around my scrawny ass.
For the record, Jabay is not.
Large. He's just tall.
He's like 6'2" or or 6'3", probably.
Wearing Red Wing, no, custom made boots.
Fancy work boots. It's not that he's like some huge human being. He's just really tall and lanky.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very tall, and I am not.
Right. But like, I just want it to be on record that we're not saying he's a 300-pound.
No, I'm saying
behemoth. He's just a very tall dude.
Just general frame. He is a substantially scaled up person compared to me.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if you'll fit. So I drive it around, and he goes and hops in. He's like, oh yeah, I got tons of room. His knees are up by the steering wheel a little bit. But
of course.
He's got tons of room.
It wasn't that bad.
No, he looked way better in there than what I was expecting.
So I think
I'm coming off.
I think it's one of those deals where like they might have a similar inseam.
Oh, kind of like E-Man, where he's got like
he's just got a long torso.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously he's a little bit taller inseam, but he's not like remarkably taller.
Right.
Yeah. So either way, he hops in, drives it from the dyno around to the garage, and I walk over there, and he's like, man, this thing makes some noise in the back.
It's fine, don't worry about
Z
it.
thing, they all do that. Because him and I, Dusty and I were messaging back and forth. He's like under his car, whatever night it was, Thursday night, Wednesday night, last week, and he's sending me videos like, does yours do this? And I'm like going under mine, like, rotating the axles,
right.
Rotating the diff. I was like, this is what mine sounds like. It's been like this for years,
okay.
even after swapping the diff and rebuilding it. So
it's fine.
So mine, it has slack in the inner CVs, and
his definitely makes more noise than mine.
With urethane rear end bushings and aluminum subframe bushings, and like I've removed a good amount of the sound deadening in it, so yeah, it sounds like something's about to fall out of it, but it sounded like that for a while now. Nothing's fallen out, so
that's fine.
So yeah, he drives it out on track. I ran out and went up to the top of turn 1 because I wanted a picture of my car leading the field around for a GLTC race.
Yeah, as one does.
Don't we all?
So I had the completely surreal experience of looking at my car sitting at the entrance to turn 1 while I'm standing on top of the platform at the top of turn 1. So this is really weird.
I love that it's still covered in Grid Life track battle stickers.
Yes.
That really drove the deal home.
Should never take that off.
Yep. So, and then the wonder of the whole situation quickly turns into, if this car is ever going to break, it's damn well better not do it in the next 3.4 miles.
Which, of course, means, because he expressed this concern to us on the group like an idiot. So, of course, that meant that we spent the next 10 minutes coming up with literally any way we could possibly think of that his car might break down, and then describing it in painstaking detail in the group chat.
Well, it is, because, we had just gone over the rear end days before, making sure, okay, I'm pretty sure it's not exactly where you want it, but I don't think anything's wrong, is what the conclusion came to.
Right.
He had just replaced the brake booster with no brake booster, so now it's dual masters. So he's but it's been on track. But I've also it's fine.
I've also driven it. I've driven it 100 miles on track, and I drove it 280 miles down there without issue. But
exactly. So
of course your brain is going to go to this is going to be the time that it breaks.
Yeah. So, but of course, in the group chat, as he's walking to turn 1 to take his photos, as they're pulling out, I was like, "Is that smoke?
Right?
Is there anything? What was that?" And you could tell, like, he just puts the group chat away, like completely ignores it until the face lap is over.
I'll come back to this. I've made a mistake. I'll come back to this.
So the funny thing, whenever we ran at COTA with the Camaro the first time, my dad would go up in the paddock club area in the pit building to watch whenever I would go out for a session. And so you can see the car go up the front straight, down turn 1 through 2, 3, 4, and then it kind of disappears. And then you can only catch a little bit of a glimpse of it on the back straight, and then it you get through 12 and into the stadium section, you can see it again. So there's a minute and a half hang time during a hot lap where you're you don't see the car, and you just kind of wonder. Well, on a pace lap, that's like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So I
we're
texted
awful
my dad. I was like,
people,
this
so
is-
we didn't help any.
I texted my dad. I was like, "This is a whole new way to experience the anxiety of a car finishing a lap at COTA."
Yeah. No pressure whatsoever.
But it was fine. It made it back around and it sat at the end of the pit lane, and it didn't have to go back out because everybody was well behaved. So
Well behaved enough.
It was a really clean weekend. As far as
yeah,
that's
there was
concerned.
no.
It really
I
was.
don't think there was any yellow flags. Maybe locals, but
Just locals is what I saw.
no full course. So
Yeah. So I also got to ride in the pit or in the pace vehicle. It was the rental Hyundai SUV thing.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's a big SUV.
Yeah. Santa Fe probably.
Maybe. But I got to make a lap in the back seat. So I can say I've been on a lap of COTA.
Better than me.
Jabay was straight whipping it.
I'm sure you have to go.
Well,
9
he's
tenths
supposed to do 60.
Yep.
It's supposed to be his pace speed. And so, like, he's using all the apex curbing, making straight lines out of corners as best as he can, trying to maintain as close to 60 as he can while everybody else is behind him just, like, cruising.
Lollygagging along.
Right. So, but it handled it pretty well.
just set the cruise and just.
So it was an experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Sunday morning, I got down for the standing start, and I told myself, like, on the off chance that this is the last time that there's a GLTC race here, I'm going to be point blank for the F1 start, and I'm going to get as much video and as many photos of it as possible. So I took 2 camera bodies. So I set one up in the photo window, and then I set my phone up like on the fence looking straight across. And you can check out the video from it on the 10 Tenths Instagram.
Easily the most shared video we've ever had by like a lot.
oh, I'm sure
Because I've seen it on like
on Instagram.
I've seen it on like 4 different people's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, several people shared it in their stories, and yeah, it did. I don't think it's done. Oddly enough, total views wise, your video of the broken transmission
That one
from Topeka.
That one caught the real algorithm for whatever reason, because it skyrocketed views, because there's that video where I'm filming myself trying to put it into third gear, and it just like I'm basically like hammering on it and it's not going anywhere. And it's just like I just said, like, this is such a stupid fucking hobby or something.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like a 3-second video, and
Right.
it's been viewed like 10,000 times or something stupid.
No, it's like 29,000 times.
No way.
Yes. Now he's got to check.
I do. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was flipping back through to see like what some of the other stuff had done, but so yeah,
That one that was a weird algorithm for sure.
So like for that race, I was shooting from like 10th on the grid, I think, or 8th probably.
It is 29,000. Holy shit.
And so everybody takes off, and I like grab all my crap and I run. And I get down to like the next photo window that's down at like the actual start finish that's like just past like turn 20. Mm-hmm. And everybody's coming around again. So I stop. I'm like, ugh. Get some photos, and then grab all my crap again, run further down, and get all the way down to turn 20, which is where Rob from Grid Life is shooting. And we're just talking about how, because 8:00 in the morning after time change, the sun is coming up over the pit building. It is just bathing everything in this gorgeous orange aura. I have some of the coolest things from both last year and this year from that exact moment in that exact spot. And I'm talking to Rob, and we're talking about the fact that COTA has this giant American flag on turn 1, and then there's a giant Texas flag on another one of the turns. And they weren't up last year, and I was really bummed because I was looking forward to getting those and some shots. And I'm talking to Rob about it, and he's like, yeah, it's super cool if you go down to turn 10, and you can get like just left of the window or just right of the, like, he's telling me all these different things. I'm like, and that is like 4 miles from like it might as well it might as well be like halfway back to Dallas on foot.
Yeah.
But damn it, I gotta go do it.
Yep.
So hiked my little self all the way back out there and shot like coming up on turn 9 for the third race, and that there's clips from that in that the video as well of guys coming off of the exit of turn 9 and just like whipping out onto the curbing and sliding a little bit sideways. And yeah, it's tons and tons of super cool places to watch at that track. So.
Yeah, it helps when the spectator was taken into account when they made the track. You know, being a Formula 1 track and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever for F1 when the whole thing is open, like walking, because the first year we walked the whole thing, and yeah, there's so many cool places. Like watching prototypes for Formula 1 cars through the S's is just, I mean, even the McLaren, the GT3X through the S's is just like, I don't, how does a car do that? I don't understand. Yeah. And that car's running 2 flats versus minute 30s.
Yeah. I was looking for the records to try and figure out where Eric Fleming was on the naturally aspirated record, and I realized like, oh shit, Formula 1 cars were in like low 130s, like 131s.
They're moving
132s.
136.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever.
Fast.
Still dumb. It's 30 seconds faster than almost everything that was there this weekend.
Yeah, like the first time I ran there, I ran a 240, and I was a solid minute slower than a Formula 1 car.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
I did whenever we ran Barber, I did a comparison lap, like a split screen between an IndyCar and me. And it lasts like half of one corner before it's just not even relevant anymore.
Right. There's a map, a track map out there somewhere from a few years back even, of COTA that has like min corner speeds for Lewis Hamilton's qualifying lap when he set pole there, whatever, how many years ago it was.
Yep.
And it's like, what the fuck? How is that even
they're all
awesome?
They're all triple digits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5 is 181 miles an hour. And that's the S's.
That's disgusting.
Those are the S's.
That's disgusting.
Turn 1 is the slowest, I think, and it's still like
70 miles an hour. Yeah.
That's so bad.
Turn 1 and turn 12, I think, are the 2 slow corners, if I remember right.
Yes. 11 is 64. That's the slowest.
Oh, okay. 64.
Because it's kind of down. You're downhill into it.
Ridiculous.
That's nuts.
And he gets from 70 to 180 by the time he's in turn 3, which really isn't that far away.
Nope.
I mean, what? To pick up 110 miles an hour? That's crazy.
Yeah, I would like to know what that feels like. That type of acceleration.
It's got to hurt.
Oh yeah, well,
Like it's got to feel uncomfortable.
That 5 Gs for an hour and a half. Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
So just in a streetcar going down through 2, the last time we ran, there was a big bump right there, and it was spiking the lateral G on my data up to like 3 Gs or something crazy just from that bump because the car was so loaded up already.
That's nuts.
I can't imagine sustaining like 4 through there. I'm willing to give it a try if someone is like offering.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Not going to turn that down.
I might get back in a car for that. So
the other cool thing about getting there on Friday was they had the track open for walking Friday evening after they got done shooting, like doing rollers and everything. So I walked up turn 1 and then down about halfway through turn 2 and decided that I was going to be walking a lot. I didn't need to go any further than that, but that there's so much happening just in the profile, just in turn 1. It's so crazy. There's like, because you're braking uphill and then there's like a pretty solid little crest and it flattens off. And then once you actually get into the turn, like it cambers up to the outside. There's it's wild what a grade 1 Formula 1 track, like how tailored everything is. It's almost like looking at the profile of a golf course,
Which is funny how many people were complaining about how bumpy it was.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it's smooth.
I mean, it's Texas soil. That's what happens. Like whenever they put that place in, they were like, "Oh, we dug down 20 feet and we put this base layer in." And something, yeah,
Not good enough. Yeah,
yeah. Texas soil doesn't care.
That's why they don't have basements.
that's weird to me still. But like, does MotoGP still go to?
Yeah, they're there. Like there were all kinds of signs all over the place.
I know they
for
complain
MotoGP.
every year, so I wasn't sure if they finally put a stop.
No, they're
to
going
it.
to be there here in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's the next major event.
Yeah, first part of April, I think.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd like to see that.
it would be cool.
Want to go back?
No,
Okay.
no, I do not. It's such a long drive, Robbie.
Yeah, every year it's always like
It's an
I know I'm not going to
awful
go, but I
trip.
always want to go. I always will want to go, but I don't know. That can't be the first event of the year for me, and it just can't be.
They need to have it in November instead. I
Yes.
feel like it would be more popular in November than it is in March.
Yes, they should do it. They should absolutely do it in November. That should be your championship round, in my opinion.
But then all the cars that come from World Time Attack wouldn't be able to be there.
Is that? I assume that's why it's in the spring, right?
They're not there.
That's why
anyway.
they did it in the spring originally. But yeah,
But they're not there.
hasn't
anyway.
really shaken out that way.
Well, shoot. Move it to November. Use it as a championship round. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't coordinate events, so whatever.
That's fair.
It's interesting. It's one of the only like non-pro level competition events at COTA anymore. Like SCCA and NASA have both tried to run either regional events or championship events and just haven't been able to make the numbers work on it.
I assume it's a very expensive track to rent, and I don't know, unless SCCA has really ramped up their pricing. Unless it's going to be a very expensive weekend, then I can see why people are like, I could just do these two others instead.
Because the second time I drove there, it was a divisional SCCA, and it was one of those that they were like, okay, we'll have one time trials group because we need more cars here to pay for it.
Sure.
But yeah, I can't imagine that the numbers worked out because they did not have huge run groups for the race groups there. So
No, and I'm sure it's worth every penny that they charge, I would imagine. But yeah, it can't be cheap. So
No, I think it's in the $200,000 to $300,000 range for the weekend.
yeah, which is what you'd expect.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's crazy.
it's big time money. But maybe one day I'll go to one of them, or maybe I won't. I don't know.
Or maybe not.
Maybe never.
Fuck it.
Yeah, stick to these local small tracks. That's fine.
Racing is dumb.
It's expensive. You know, it's not expensive. iRacing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not cheap either.
Unless you
buy all the tracks and all the
buy
cars.
all of, well, I was thinking more of the rig to drive it.
Yeah, you can spend as much as you want on that too. I'll say I'm not that far into mine, but yeah.
Let's shut it down.
Okay. I guess we can talk about you don't want to talk about me at all.
Fuck you, Robbie.
Wow, hurtful.
All we do is talk about you.
Shit, we talked about you guys for an hour and 40 minutes.
Great. Shut it down.
All right.
We can move over to the Patreon now, and then we can talk about.
Yeah, we'll do that.
No, that's fine.
So yeah, look for 1010's podcast on Patreon.
We got to have something to talk about next weekend or next week.
That's fair. We can do that. We can do it after the fact. All right, we'll catch everybody next week.